Did you know that nearly 100 million eligible voters in the US chose not to vote in the 2020 election? That's more than the entire population of France. Now, here's a shocking fact: their silence could have changed the outcome of the election. But why does this matter? Because politics isn't just about the people who vote, it's also about the ones who don't. This video will reveal secrets of how your daily choices, the media you consume, and even history itself shape the world around you. We're diving into the hidden power of your vote, and how it goes far beyond just casting a ballot. Buckle up, because in the next few minutes, you're going to see politics in a whole new light. Chapter 1. In modern politics, voting isn't the only way to influence an election. Voting silence, the act of abstaining from voting, may sound passive, but it holds immense power. A recent study found that nearly 30% of eligible voters in the US choose not to cast a ballot. What if I told you that this silent group could tip the scales in crucial races? It's not just about who votes, but about who chooses not to. Politicians often ignore these silent voters, yet their inaction can be a loud message. When large numbers of people sit out, the dynamics of an election can shift drastically. Think about it: if a candidate can't connect with the non-voters, their victory is less meaningful. A quiet voting bloc often becomes a hidden force, one that shifts political landscapes without making a sound. The concept of voting silence isn't new. In 1912, political theorist Robert Michels argued that voter apathy could be used as a tool to challenge the establishment. Over the years, the trend has grown. For example, in the 2020 US presidential election, around 100 million eligible voters didn't vote. That's a bigger number than the total votes of both major party candidates combined. The real question here isn't why people don't vote, but what their silence is saying. This isn't about laziness or lack of interest, it's about disillusionment with the political system. In many ways, voting silence speaks louder than any single vote ever could. Chapter 2. The media doesn't just report the news, it shapes it. Ever noticed how certain events get blown out of proportion, while others fade into the background? That's because media outlets have mastered the art of framing, a strategy that influences public perception without people even realizing it. According to a 2017 study, over 60% of US adults admitted to relying on social media for political news. But here's the catch: most people don't realize how much those social media algorithms are controlling their worldview. Algorithms favor sensational headlines that spark strong emotional reactions. This means that you're more likely to see the extreme, the controversial, and the outrage-inducing. This creates a false narrative, one where the political landscape seems more polarized than it actually is. But media manipulation goes deeper than just headlines. Take, for example, the famous CNN effect. The idea is simple: CNN, and other major networks, can determine which issues become top priorities based on the coverage they give. In 1990, the network's extensive reporting on the Gulf War had such an impact that it is said to have influenced US intervention. The power of media isn't just about providing information, it's about directing the conversation. So, next time you see a viral news story, ask yourself, who's controlling this narrative, and why? Chapter 3. If you've ever paid attention to a political campaign, you've seen the signs, the colors, the slogans, the catchy phrases. But did you know there's a secret code behind all of this? Political campaigns are meticulously crafted with one goal: to sway voters without them even realizing it. For instance, blue is often used by candidates to convey trustworthiness. It's no coincidence that most politicians opt for it. Studies show that blue is universally associated with calmness and stability, traits every leader wants to be linked with. But it's not just about color, everything is planned, from the music in campaign ads to the strategic placement of yard signs. Take a look at the 2008 Obama campaign. Its use of the simple, "Hope" slogan connected with millions of people, evoking a sense of optimism and progress. In fact, the Obama campaign raised $500 million from online donations alone, much of it due to the emotional appeal of such phrases. The truth is, political campaigns use deep psychological tactics that target our subconscious desires. Every word, image, and symbol is a calculated attempt to appeal to our emotions, values, and instincts. And this isn't limited to presidential races. Local candidates use these same techniques, although on a smaller scale. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more insights on how politics is shaping our world. Chapter 4. Here's a harsh reality: many people vote without questioning why. It's easy to fall into the trap of voting for the same party, year after year, out of habit. But this autopilot mode can undermine the democratic process. Did you know that over 40% of US voters identify as independent, yet they still lean heavily toward one of the major parties? This shows how easy it is to fall into a routine that doesn't challenge one's beliefs. When voters don't critically evaluate their choices, they miss out on the opportunity to vote for a candidate who genuinely aligns with their values. Instead, they stick to what feels familiar. The issue becomes even more evident in midterm elections. In 2018, only 49% of eligible voters participated in the US midterm elections, a significant drop compared to presidential years. This tells us that many people are only motivated to vote when the presidential race is on the line. Democracy works best when citizens are actively engaged, questioning, and participating. When people only vote out of habit or loyalty, they're doing a disservice to themselves and their nation. Chapter 5. Believe it or not, every purchase you make is a political decision. From the food you eat to the clothes you buy, your daily choices impact the economy and, by extension, politics. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's grounded in reality. A study by the American Economic Review showed that consumer spending patterns can affect national policy shifts. Think about it, when people buy more sustainable products, they send a message to corporations and governments to prioritize eco-friendly policies. Similarly, your spending habits can influence corporate decisions, like whether a company supports certain political candidates or advocates for specific policies. Take the rise of electric cars, for example. As more people switched to electric vehicles, car manufacturers began to push for cleaner technologies. This wasn't just a market trend, it was a direct response to public demand, which in turn, pressured politicians to support green policies. So, every time you spend your money, you're not just making a personal choice, you're contributing to a larger political conversation that shapes the future. Chapter 6. History is powerful, especially when it comes to politics. You've heard the saying, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But it's more than just a saying, it's a reminder of how the past shapes the present. Political historian Howard Zinn once said, history is not just what happened. It's how we interpret what happened. A deep dive into the political moments of the past can reveal how far we've come, or how far we've fallen. Many current political issues, from voting rights to economic inequality, are rooted in historical struggles that still affect us today. For instance, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was passed after decades of racial discrimination at the polls. But did you know that parts of this act were weakened in 2013, leading to a surge of voter suppression laws in some states? Understanding this history allows us to see the importance of protecting voting rights in the modern age. Similarly, the fight for women's rights wasn't just a victory in the 20th century. Its echoes are still felt today, with movements like #MeToo reshaping our political discourse. So, the next time you head to the polls, think about the long history that led to that moment. Understanding where we've been can help you decide where we're going. Don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content on the political forces shaping your world. This script brings you fresh perspectives on politics, making you think twice before you vote, spend, or consume media. The goal is to shift your mindset and empower you to understand the bigger picture.